It's just gone lunchtime. This is All Angles here on eNCA. Good afternoon, I'm Mthimkhulu. It is the time of the day when we give you an update on how far some of the stories we've been following for you on Channel Today have advanced. This is your lunchtime update. All right, we're joined by our reporters who are out and about. In Bloemfontein, we have Sli Masikane. In Johannesburg, we have Pule, Letshwiti-Jones, and in Westbury, and Hloni Mthimkhulu is in South Hills. That's in the south of Johannesburg. All right, Sli, I'm going to start with you because you have breaking news. The state having withdrawn charges against 3 accused in the Thabo Bester prison saga. Did you manage to get reaction from those 3 accused and how they're feeling? Or former accused, maybe we should say?
Certainly so. We are inside the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court where we have seen the appearance of 12 people who were implicated in Bester's escape from the Mangaung prison. We do know that Nandi Pamakutumana, who is alleged to not be feeling well, was not part of the 12 that appeared in the morning session when court proceedings resumed. We understand that she is in holding cells, and according to her lawyer, she was transported from the Kroonstad prison despite the fact that she had told authorities that she wasn't feeling well. She then allegedly fainted in holding cells and was attended to by paramedics, but subsequent to that she did not appear with the 12 when the magistrate walked in this morning, but the court proceedings continued, where we then had the state prosecutor informing the magistrate that the NPA was withdrawing charges against 3 people who were implicated, and those charges being withdrawn means that they are free to go and they do not form part of the indictment, which means that this matter is now ready to go to trial. So we will be seeing 9 people, including Bester, being tried for the escape once it is transferred to the High Court. But let's just take a listen to what Thabang Meer, Nastasia Jansen and Moikesi Ramudula had to say once the magistrate said that they were free to go.
I'm okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you happy? Are you relieved?
I'm relieved.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can sleep at night now. Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah?
I can't explain how I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has it been quite difficult for you?
Too much. Too much.
Yeah. I understand, of course, that you must be quite excited to know that your daughter has been released and the charges have been withdrawn, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm so happy. I don't know what to say, but I'm happy.
I understand this may have been very difficult for you and your family.
It was very difficult, but today I'm excited.
You're excited. Nastasia, you're looking away, but how are you feeling?
Comment for now. I'm feeling great, thank you.
Are you happy?
I'm happy.
You relieved?
Yes.
Yes. You can finally move on?
Yes.
Yes.
Continue with life.
All right, Hloni, let's come to you. Of course, the community members of South Hills have been protesting because they haven't had access to water. It's been a couple of weeks now. What's the update from where you are? Is it still tense?
So at the moment, Masoko, the engineer from Joburg Water has gone up to the reservoir. He had told residents, trying to explain to them what is happening, that they would try and see what is going on. He had spoken about issues with the valves, about diversions to their water supply, possibly explaining why they've not had water for about 53 days now. So they've gone up to do that. So it's a little less tense at the moment than what it was from early this morning. Residents arriving from around 6 o'clock, or even 5:30 this morning, to protest blocking off this road. It is the intersection of 4 streets in the South Hills area, and they have been here since then. They initially waited for the ward councillor. The SAP has tried to get hold of the ward councillor. The ward councillor had been in a meeting with City of Joburg for a while, and she had to come out of that meeting, that is Faiza Chaim, and to come to attend to the residents that were here. And she came through just before 11 o'clock this morning, and then she arranged for Joburg Water and Rand Water to be here. Joburg Water did arrive, and they were trying to explain to residents. Again, residents aren't really interested in the reasons why they don't have water. They just want to understand why there is no water and when they're getting their water restored. They say that they pay their rates and their taxes to the city, so why they're not able to access their services. And, you know, there are people who took time off from work today. The majority actually of the protesters here took time off work to be at this protest and to stage others protests because they say they've had enough. They've had meetings, they've had engagements, and none of those engagements have yielded anything. So don't know if the city Joburg Power will be able to, Joburg Water rather, will be able to restore their water supply. But from what we had heard earlier, that Joburg Water was trying to restore that power, their water supply rather. Let us hear from Mthimkhulu, but in terms of trying to restore their water supply.
We want to do all the sections that we have identified, so that the sections that they have been referring to, so that we can now confirm if those sections are operating as they should. Okay. So there are a couple of boundary valves that are supposed to remain closed. And I think as we have been coming here back and forth, there are other valves that we have opened up, and then the water ends up coming all the way down. So we need to make sure that the water gets retained as it should. And which the gentleman was saying that they want the system to be as it is before the 54 days started. Which that's why we are here. And if ever there was something that we are hiding, I don't think I would have hidden not to approach my community. I'm as part as you are, because for me it pains me that we are not getting any solution, but we need to get the solution today.
All right, Pule, of course, you're looking at crime and violence that are, becoming more perennial in South Africa. And you've been speaking to different stakeholders like police. We've seen CIT heists actually going on the rise as we edge closer and closer to the festive season. What's the police's plans?
Yeah, Masiko, gun murders are actually quite rife, particularly in the province of Gauteng. When you look at cash and transit robberies, we now know Gauteng, of course, is the hotspot, followed by Eastern Cape and then KwaZulu-Natal as well. But we've also previously visited communities like Westbury that have been, struggling to unroot and fight the crime in their area. We know there's been numerous attempts from police officials to say they will fight the crime in the area, but to date, it seems as though these guns are landing in the wrong hands, and of course these are criminals who are now targeting and instilling terror in this community. But just in brief, I'm joined by the community leader, Mr. Jeffrey Johnson, who's been trying to be vocal about the crime in this area. Mr. Johnson, have things become worse in this area, particularly with looking at the gun murders that's taking place in Westbury?
Pule, yes, indeed, it has become worse. We've just had the situation about 2 weeks ago when we had a cop that was shot. And, so the police is making this whole big thing with regards. And I'm not saying it's wrong, and I'm also not saying it's right. But what we tried initially was to try and see that this does not happen to the police, where police will be getting shot. But obviously, as you were saying, that there's so many firearms. And my question is, where do these guys get their ammunition from? Because the kind of stuff that they use is amazing. It's what they use in armies. So I have all these questions with regards to that.
Have things become worse?
Absolutely worse.
Thank you very much. That's Mr. Jeffrey Johnson. Of course, we'll continue the chat with him throughout the day. But as you just heard, Masiho, things, of course, are quite worse in Westbury. And, of course, they're calling for SAP's intervention as more lives are being lost in this community.
And it's not the first time. All right, that was your eNCA lunchtime update. A little earlier, we had Sli Masikane, Pule, Letshwiti-Jones and Hloni Mthimkhulu. Thanks, team. Let's leave it there for now.